crashing through the crowded halls, dodging girls like ping pong balls, just to reach the bathroom on time. That's the life of the Loud House. Everybody makes mistakes, and this popular Nickelodeon show isn't any different. From dislocated shoulders to invisible tapes, check out these animation errors. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button to never miss another video, and don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. Let's check out 10 animation errors in The Loud House. Cartoon Anatomy. The Loud House's team got better at animation after a few seasons, but you can probably spot a lot of mistakes during the first few episodes. This one is pretty frightening, especially since the entire episode revolves around the Loud family being left in the dark after a power cut. This episode introduced us to the family and gave us a quick insight into the personalities of all 11 Loud children. The first episode starts off with Lincoln, who wanted to watch his favorite TV show but couldn't because of the power outage. After a few tries of getting back the power, Lincoln failed, and eventually the kids become scared. They have to go to the scary basement to turn on the circuit breaker, and when they arrive, things are definitely spooky. After some typical sibling taunting, the twins, Lana and Lola, actually become scared and scream that there's a ghost in the basement. Pay attention to how they look as they both yell and panic at the same time. We're not sure whether this is an actual mistake or just some weird cartoon anatomy, but there's something strange going on with both of their arms. It looks like their shoulders aren't connecting to the rest of their bodies. Lola's shoulders definitely look like they're just an extra set of arms without any fingers. Strange, right?
Hey guys, we are so excited to announce we are producing our own original content. Head over to The Trendy for the best DIYs, fashion tips, makeup hacks, and so much more. We are sure you're going to love it, and be sure to let us know what you think in the comment section. We love to hear from you. See you there.
The clothing. The first episode is definitely the one that introduces us to the family. We get to know the kids' personalities, and we can immediately tell who's the brainiac and who's a total fashionista. But there's another character that changed her style as the episodes went on. Lisa's fashion definitely isn't as advanced as Lenny's, but she does have a unique sense of style. And how could you not love those big round glasses? She's adorable, but something changed about Lisa since the first episode. Left in the Dark is the only episode where you can find Lisa wearing different clothing. Her sweater is actually dark green, and it definitely stands out from the crowd. Watch the episode again and pay attention to the color of the sweater. The contrast of the green color is much brighter. You can definitely see this as the kids all watch TV. Now look at some of the other Loud House episodes. Do you see the difference? Lisa's green turtleneck sweater is toned down. This could be a simple drawing mistake, as we don't see the same color again in any of the episodes. But it could also be something the team noticed and decided to change the color. As far as we're aware, this didn't happen to any other Loud House character. Make sure to let us know if you've ever seen any more change in anyone's clothing. A chipped tooth. Even though the Loud House features 11 siblings, the cartoon revolves around the middle child. Lincoln is the only boy in the family, and his job is definitely not an easy one. We absolutely love his adventures, but what's even more entertaining is noticing how many times Lincoln changed his look. Of course, it wasn't his fault. This was a simple animation mistake that could happen in any TV show. But Lincoln is the only sibling with a chipped tooth, so it's interesting to see just how many times he was seen without it. If you want more examples like this one, make sure to watch the part 1 of 10 animation errors in the Loud House. There are a few scenes where you can see the rest of his teeth clearly outlined, but the one that stands out the most comes from the second episode of Season 1, called Get the Message. In the beginning of the episode, Lincoln accidentally enters Lori's message as he plays his virtual reality game. Lori gets angry and Lincoln gets scared as soon as he realizes where he is. But look at his teeth when he gets scared. They look perfect, don't they? We rarely see his full set of teeth, even with his mouth open. As other teeth only seem to appear accidentally, we can assume this is a total mistake. You can actually see Lincoln's full set of teeth with no chipped tooth in sight as he's running from his sisters during the Loud House intro. A family portrait. Lincoln definitely doesn't have an easy life, and we get to learn all about his hectic mornings in Project Loud House. At the beginning of the episode, Lincoln explains he had to make a report on his family. It took him 3 weeks and a lot of boxes of pasta to make his real-life family portrait that represents the chaos of the Loud family. But it looks like the animators couldn't decide how they wanted to portray his project, as it seems to change in every single shot it's in. At the beginning, you can clearly count all 11 siblings, and the detail of the project is amazing. But as Lincoln carefully tries to bring his project down in the midst of chaos, you can see that the detail on it changes every single time. Although you can clearly see the personalities of each sibling, they look a lot taller when the shot focuses on Lincoln speaking, and again when you see it from the front. But as Lincoln finally decides to carry the project out of his room, you can clearly see how the detail of the project changed. Although the figures are now shorter, you can now see only 8 siblings, and they look absolutely nothing like they do in real life. Is it a mistake or just a simplified animation to save some time? Magical cleanup. We all know Lana is a tomboy and she loves to do just about everything Lola hates to do. This includes being dirty and not minding having her whole face covered in mud. The two couldn't be more opposite, and sometimes it's really hard to believe they're sisters. Although Lincoln does love them, they sometimes annoy him. Having one annoying sibling is enough, but having 2 identical ones is even harder. In Along Came Sister, Lincoln brings home a tarantula. He knows that Lenny is afraid of spiders, so he only tells his siblings what he's hiding. But then the tarantula disappears after he puts it in a drawer because it looked a little sluggish. Lincoln panics and starts searching for the spider. The twins ask him what he's looking for, and Lincoln lies that he found them, the 2 cutest twins in town. In the next scene, the girls realize something is wrong and confront him. Lola points out that there's no way he'd ever think Lana is cute. As she says it, you can clearly see dirt on Lana's face, including her cheeks and her hat. And when the sisters are yelling at Lincoln, the dirt on her face disappears completely. She either knows how to clean herself very quickly, like nothing happened, or this was just another small animation mistake. Another chipped tooth. The Loud House isn't just about Lincoln Loud and his siblings. We also get to learn about their friends, and the one that makes a frequent appearance on the show is definitely Clyde. Clyde has a huge crush on Lori, and he can't help himself whenever he's around her. He's definitely adorable, and we love his buck teeth. But there's an episode where Clyde's buck teeth disappear and get replaced by a chipped tooth, similar to the one you see on Lincoln. And get the message, Lincoln got kicked out by Lori and realized he forgot his gaming glasses. When he goes back to get them, he noticed they were stomped on and automatically blames Lori as she was the last person to enter the bathroom. In the next scene, Lincoln told Clyde what happened. Clyde is shocked, but not because the glasses are destroyed. He can't believe Lori touched them with her feet. Rewatch the scene and pay attention to Clyde's mouth. When Clyde is totally fascinated by the glasses, he has a chipped tooth just like Lincoln. We usually see him with buck teeth, as you do in many other scenes from the same episode. Maybe he was so shocked he managed to chip his tooth in the process. The problem with eyelashes. The Loud House characters all have distinctive features that set them apart from one another, and you might not even notice some of them. We've already outlined some of these in part 1 of our video, but there's a specific one that's just bizarre. Some animators just make new rules when it comes to cartoon anatomy. We all know eyelashes go on your eyes, but not this time. In Toads and Tiaras, Lola ends up getting sick and can't go to the pageant Lincoln was preparing her for because he wanted her to win season passes to Dairyland. The entire episode is absolutely hilarious as we watch Lana transform into a beauty queen. But pay attention to the beginning where Lincoln directs Lola's performance and tells her how much she should smile before she became ill. As she waves, look at her eyelashes. As soon as she raises her eyes, her eyelashes look like they're floating. This doesn't happen in any other scene, no matter what emotion she's showing, and neither does it happen to her twin, who ends up being a pretty amazing pageant queen. As Lincoln says, those who scratch lose the match. But what happens to those who suddenly lose their eyelashes? What do you think? Was this an error, or was it done intentionally to highlight Lola's expression? Let us know in the comments. A strange tongue. You need to be a super fan of the show to even catch this animation error. Once you start noticing all the details, you'll probably be able to catch more and more animation mistakes. We've already discussed how Lincoln reveals his full set of teeth with no chipped tooth in sight in Get the Message. But there's another animation mistake you can spot if you pause the episode at a certain time. We all know Lori doesn't like it when her siblings butt into her life, and she loves her privacy. She also loves her siblings, but most of the time she tells them what they should and shouldn't be doing to disturb her. In Get the Message, we see her yelling at Lincoln after he accidentally walks into her room with gaming glasses on. Pay attention to her tongue when she yells. If you pause it at the right time, you'll be able to see that at some parts her tongue isn't exactly outlined, while in other parts it totally is. Let us know if you managed to catch this one. We all know being an animator is not an easy job, so we're definitely not going to hold that tiny mistake against the Loud House team. Although we have to admit her tongue almost looks human when it's not outlined. We'd probably get scared too. A change of color. The characters of the show often wear the same clothing as it highlights their personalities and helps us telling them apart. Lincoln is almost always seen in an orange shirt, jeans, and the same shoes with 3 red stripes. When he goes to school, he also tends to wear a blue backpack. It's how we know him, but there's an episode out there that shows Lincoln with slightly different colored accessories. We're not sure if this is a true animation mistake, but make sure to let us know what you think in the comments. Check this out. The episode is called Space Invader, and as you might have guessed, the story revolves around invading someone's space. After Lynn and Lucy have a fight, Lincoln allows Lynn to sleep in his room. Of course, he later regrets that decision. He asks Clyde for advice on what he should do. Clyde, as usual, is only dreaming about Lori, but pay attention to the scenes where Clyde and Lincoln are walking to and from school. Do you notice something different about his backpack? If you're a huge fan, you probably know that it's usually blue, but looks like the backpack is brown for these 2 scenes. It's either an animation mistake or the backpack was a hand-me-down from one of his sisters. Invisible tape. Having a lot of siblings can be a nightmare, and it sure looks like that way for Lincoln, who is trying his best to live with 10 sisters. We feel you, buddy! Here's another example of either a simple animation mistake or just a simplified version that makes the animator's life much easier. You decide in the comments what you think about this one. It belongs to the episode called Intense Debate, where the family is trying to decide on their destination for their vacation. While half of the family wants to go to Dairyland and half to the beach, Lincoln's still not decided on his preferred destination and asks for one more day. And in true Loud House style, the sabotaging begins. The next day, when Lincoln rushes to the bathroom, he finds the toilet completely covered in tape and a sign saying that the ride is temporarily closed. But rewind the episode back to when Lincoln first rushed into the bathroom, and you'll see that the toilet doesn't have any tape at all. So even if Lucy was the last one to go in, there was no way she could have taped the toilet. We're pretty sure the animators just wanted to make the element of surprise by not adding the actual state of the toilet in the scene. But it's still an animation mistake. Poor Lincoln. That's it for 10 animation errors in the Loud House. For more videos like this one, check out 10 Loud House characters all grown up. See you next time.